Okay, just one more, and then I'm done for the night. Drip, drip, drip. I totally agree. And there's going to be a flood soon, too. Remember when Trump said that he had it all? We have it all. We caught them.
So everyone and their brother is weighing in on...
Yes, Benny sent this out on Twitter. Democrats are trying to remove Trump from the ballot in multiple states because they say he engaged in on January 6th. Trump was in office until January 20th, so he was attempting to overthrow himself. That is a question this man is asking.
So everyone and their brother is weighing in on Colorado. Now California is threatening to do the same by December. But then Texas says, oh, hell no. If you're going to take Trump off the ballot, we are going to remove Biden from the ballot. And I expect there would be some other Republican states that would also follow suit on that.
Somebody replied to this, if that was really his goal, why would he use a bunch of protesters with no legitimacy or legal standing and not use any of his official powers of the office? It makes no sense. Okay, we are going to take an exclusive look into what is going on exactly. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor us to do that, and if possible, why not share out this video?
Follow suit on that. Now, it seems only one of the other Republican candidates have a nutsack, and that's Vivek Ramaswamy, who stood up and said, I'll remove myself from the ballot if this is not overturned by the Supreme Court. And then challenged the other 3 Republicans still in the race to do the same, but of course they declined. RFK came out and said, this should worry every single American. And it should. Now look, I don't care which side you're on. I don't care if you love or hate Donald Trump, but you have to admit that this is wrong. And I'm sure this will be overturned by the Supreme Court because at the end of the day, this is probably one of the most undemocratic things that 4 unelected officials could do. And that's taking your right to vote for the person that you want for president away from you. Now, the issue here is this is not unprecedented. It's been done before. It was done to Abraham Lincoln. He was removed from like 10 states' ballots. Of course, he still won. But guess what followed a year later? The Civil War. So I was chatting with my husband about whether we're headed for civil war. And he said, you know, sometimes I think we're already in civil war. It just doesn't look the way we thought it would look. We thought it would be guns and bombs and artillery and hand-to-hand combat. But it's not. It's technological warfare, which reminded me of General Flynn's book that I read, which is all about 5th generation warfare, saying basically they will erode the moral fibers of our society from within without ever firing one single shot. How will that be done? Social media. What's the first thing we do? Take to these apps to spread hate and dox one another every single day. I don't have the answer. But I do know that I've never seen our country so divided in my lifetime. I've never seen them dangle so many carrots of division and us gobble them up, taking the bait every single day at each other's throats. I don't know what it'll take to reach across the aisle and shake hands and realize that it's us against them, not Republicans against Democrats. But I do know that I have the ability to see it, that I do not have blinders on, and that many do. Because sometimes it's comfortable in the not knowing, because once your eyes are open to what's going on, you now have to stand against it. It's time to take the blinders off. It's time to get a little bit uncomfortable so that maybe we can get our country back without some sort of 9/11 type experience happening, because I know that's the fear. I just would hate for it to have to come to something like that to bring us back together, if it's even possible. So what do you say, America? Do you even think it's possible to come together? I think it's time to form a strategy. Love to hear your thoughts. Drop me.
Yes, she talks about civil war. And she mentioned something like removing Biden in some state. I don't think this is a good idea. If you actually do this, Democrat will be very happy because some actually don't want Biden to run, but due to the situation they find themselves, they are just accepting it. So removing Biden has not solved that issue. That is not a solution to it. She talked about civil war. I'm seeing a lot of people, and this is even trending on Twitter, people sounding alarm of civil war, like what I saw recently with Nikki Haley. You could really understand exactly what is coming in. And I pray something bad should not happen because when I see this repeating itself on social media, it is actually concerning.
Is founded on. So I stand by my pledge. Any state where Donald Trump is forcibly removed from the ballot in this way, I'll also remove myself. And I challenge Chris Christie and Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis to do the same thing, or else they're also complicit. If every Republican removes themselves from the ballot in Maine, that automatically stops this election interference in our GOP primary. Now, the fact that they're not doing it reveals that there's something deeper going on. This isn't just the Democrats. There's a force within the Republican establishment that's propped up a chosen puppet, and they're actually rooting for this same outcome every bit as much as the Democrats are.
Yes, I realize a lot of people are having sleepless night partaking to this. California recently took up a decision I never expected, but I was shocked. California's Secretary of State, Shelley, has kept Donald Trump on the 2024 Republican primary ballot despite calls from the state Democratic Lieutenant Governor to consider declaring him ineligible under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. Thursday was the deadline for Weber, also a Democrat, to certify the official candidate list for California March 5, 2024 presidential primary elections. Trump was included among the slate of certified Republican candidates released by the Secretary of Office Thursday evening, not long after my Democratic Secretary of State ruled him ineligible for that state gov primary ballot, becoming the second state to do so after Colorado, which they later changed their decision. Like, we will no longer do this, Trump can remain on the ballot. Which I see like they were panicking in that case. Now when you take a look at people coming out to do videos expressing their minds, Democrats are not finding this funny. They think Republicans are crazy. Allow the people to choose who they want to be president. That is what I know. If you are taking up a decision alone to actually do this, then to me, it's insane. Weber has not yet issued an explanation of her decision to include the former president, despite acknowledging last week that she will address the legal questions surrounding the removal of Trump from the gov primary ballot as requested by Lieutenant Governor. I saw Gavin Newsom coming out to say it is crazy to even think removing Trump from the ballot. It is insane. I was shocked to see his turn. I believe you all saw the debate he had with Ron DeSantis.
Governor, what do you think is going to be the takeaway after this debate from the American people?
I think it will be clear that Trump comes out the dominant force after this debate. I mean, this is the XFL. This is JV.